Hey, what's up, Lucas? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Of
Awesome. Thank you for being here, man. I appreciate your time.
course.
That's an awesome room, by the way. You got all like the posters and everything. That's sick.
Yeah, records and whatnot. Yeah.
Yeah. How long you been building that thing for?
Oh, dude. A couple years, maybe like three and a half years, maybe something like that. The whole rest of the room that you can't see is covered in them.
Oh, nice. You hit up like thrift shops and stuff, or mostly just like online?
Record source, thrift
Hell
shop.
yeah. That's awesome. So, talk about a little fighting. You're 8 fights into your professional career now, all with Bellator. What's the biggest lesson or lessons you've learned over the past 4 years?
Man, um, man, I don't even know. Over the last handful of years, man, a lot of it's little things, I think, and it's like with every camp and with every weight cut, I think we just find there's like things that you can tweak in the camps to make the camp a little bit better and to make your recovery a little bit better, the weight cut better, different things. And as far as big stuff goes, man, I don't know. Like I've had a great relationship so far with Bellator. I've been with them my entire career, so like I haven't really had to do anything too crazy as far as that goes. We've had an awesome relationship as far as the company goes with me, and no, I mean, really, big takeaways are always small things. They're just parts of the diet or part of the camp and things like that. Nothing too wild.
Yeah, and so I've always wondered, when it comes to like the relationship with Bellator, not only just the fact that they treat you so well, but since they were like that promotion that really gave you that chance right out of the amateurs, do you feel like you're with Bellator for the rest of your career just because they've done so much to you, or you just take it one fight at a time?
I mean, I am, like I have no intention of, going anywhere else really. And I don't
Mhm.
really have my eye anywhere else. I, I have a great relationship with them, not because I am obliged to have a good relationship with them for what they did for me early on. Like I reached to them and they reached out to me and we've been great since. And, there's no sort of obligation between the two. There was no obligation for them to do anything for me. Right. And really, like I'm at a point in my career that I am not obligated to do anything for them either. I think they keep me around and I keep them around and we have a great time. I have had a great time with them and, I have no complaints and I have no interest in doing anything other than continuing my career with them.
Yeah, I'm glad you used the word obligated because that's kind of like the word I was looking for. Because it's like, I know you're not like contractually like have to stay with them, but you want to stay with them. But I was always wondered somebody who, they've done so much for you. If you, like you said, you feel obligated, but I get now that, just see how it goes moving forward and going well. But upcoming fight, Weber Almeida, what are your thoughts about him? And do you think this is your toughest opponent to date?
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I think he's gonna be a lot of fun. I think he's an interesting style as far as like really there's no one else at featherweight with that particular like more or less background, I guess, approach, right? Like there's no other real karate based kickboxer sort of guy. The closest one you have, I guess, would be homie who just moved up to 45, James Gallagher, right? Who's very like he's got that same sort of style, right? But like no, I mean I think it'll be a lot of fun. I think it's an interesting style that I'm going to get to play around with, and probably yeah. I mean, I'd say he's my toughest opponent for sure. I think me and him both have similar levels of experience, and we have a similar opponent that we've both fought as well, and so I think there is relatability in how tough he is going to be, and how tough I know he's going to be, but also I don't go into it expecting anything more than what I've been able to do before. I as tough as this guy is and future guys will be, I have the same, game plan going in.
And so, I don't know if you're different, but most like, highly touted prospects that I talk to early in their professional career, it's like you don't really focus on the opponent. You just focus on making yourself the best like you can be because you have the skills to beat anyone. Are you still at that point, or do you really starting to focus on like, all right, watching film, I need to prepare for him exactly?
I mean, I think mm, there's both. I guess there's a balance of I don't want to focus so hard
Mhm.
on the guy, right, that I lack all these other areas, right? Because you get like hyper fixated on like the things he's good at, and then I think you become not, your sort of style, your sort of game. So I think
Mhm.
there's a medium of, I like working my stuff and my style and my game and things like that, and I want to find spots in my game that I can incorporate that relate to him, right? I want to take pieces of what I want to do to him, right, and things that he does really well, things like that, and I want to find the ones that actually fit really well into my game, so that I'm not forcing myself to play a game that I'm not good at, right? Like there's no reason for me to come out
Mhm.
and do something entirely different, right? Just to try and mesh with him, right? So, and I imagine he's going to be the exact same, like he's going to come out in his same sort of, go-to stance, style, whatever. And, I'm most likely going to be doing the same thing. And so I imagine there's a little bit of both as far as other fighters go, but I try and find a balance of, I need to improve, and also my relatability to this guy needs to improve. So.
And so you mentioned, one of the things that does make him good is kind of like that unorthodox type style. But on the contrary to that, what makes him beatable outside of the fact that you have the skills to beat anyone?
Uh, I'm. I think he's extremely beatable. I think he's tough. I think he's a very good striker. I think he's a talented fighter. Super athletic. It's tough. I didn't realize how short he was. I was like, this dude's fucking jacked. And he's like 5'7". I was like, checks out. That makes way more sense. And then no, man, I think he'll be tough, but I think he's beatable in all the departments that I need him to be beatable in. And respectfully, I think there's a lot that I haven't been able to show in previous fights, and as far as striking goes, and as far as working from the feet goes. And I think I'd fine there anyways, but I think my game plan is probably not a surprise to anybody at this point. And so I don't know. He's beatable where I need him to be, and I'm gonna put him there. So.
Yeah, and absolutely no looking past him. I hate any type of thought about that. But just in general, you get the win, which I know you're gonna get. You think your next opponent's gonna be ranked? Because I know you're ranked right now, but he's not ranked. Do you expect your next opponent to be a ranked fighter?
I don't know. I don't necessarily care too much about it as far as
Mhm.
like whether I'm gonna be ranked or not. There's some tough guys that aren't ranked. And I think it's cool. Like, I don't know. I have my feelings about the rankings, only because I know that, as cool as it is, right? It's dope. I got 8 fights, right? I've won 8 fights, but I got 8 fights, right? Homie behind me's got like 60, right? So there's like,
You said
I
it,
have
not me.
no, no, no.
You said
So
it, yeah.
so like, not that I'm arguing it, but I have no issue with having other fights, right? And fighting guys that aren't, there's tons of tough guys. And whether the next guy's ranked or not, I don't necessarily care. I'm going to go into it the exact same way as I went into this one. I have to respect all of them equally. They're all going to be very tough guys in their own realm of things. And yeah, whether he's got a number next to him or not, I got to fight him. So.
Do you keep a close eye on the top of the division?
A little bit. More now than I did when I was starting, but still, like, it's always changing, right?
Mhm.
There's the people that were there when I first got in aren't there, right? Some of them have moved, some of them have gone weight classes, right? There's some of them who, by the time I am fighting for that sort of spot, I'm not sure if they'll even be fighting anymore. There's guys that are getting older, there's guys that are changing weight classes. So there's, as much as I look at it, I don't really obsess over it a lot, because it changes all the time, and people spread and move and whatever. So it's kind of, when I'm getting a little closer, I'd probably worry about a little bit more. But right now, and I'm not stressed.
Is there anyone, at just the top of your head that you see that's like up there that you're like, I need this matchup because I know I can beat him?
Um, Man, who is actually up in front of me right now? There's a couple guys that I think would be fun. I think Justin Gonzalez would be fun.
Mhm.
I not necessarily calling out either of these two, but I think their
Right.
fight's gonna, which is Mads Burnell fighting Weichel. So I see them talking shit to each other all the time, and now they're fighting. I think that'll be fun. I think that'll be a good one. I'd also like to fight both of them, but I think they're awesome. Be a good one. Man, well, there's a dude whose name I'm not remembering right now. I don't know. There's a handful of guys I would like to fight though, and respectfully and in due time. But it'll happen.
And so last question, your upcoming fight, Almeida, do you see this one going the distance? Do you think you're going to put him away, before the judges need to get involved?
I think I put him away. I think he is incredibly cool. I think he'll be tough to put away. But I definitely see it being impossible. And there was like something like he's never been finished. He has one loss. Like that's not like a crazy stat. So first time for everything. Fun.
Awesome. And that's all I have for you today, man. I really do appreciate your time, and I hope for the best in your upcoming fight and the rest of your career.
Thank you, man.